I'll be able to provide some good information to you guys, because I know it's just me standing between you and lunch. So, and I know most of you are getting hungry, right? So I can tell you one thing, I'm not feeling lonely, but today, standing here, I'm a bit lonely, so give me company. So anyways, I think, I was here last time and I spoke a lot about bringing rigor into the pilot so we can really look at the results and say, yes, this is exactly what we want to see. So little bit about my background. I'm a pediatrician by training. I joined Healthcare Partners Medical Group in 2001, so I've been there almost 19 years. We got acquired by DaVita, and now we are acquired by Optum. So we are Optum Care now. And so many people still say DaVita, so since 3-4 months, it's Optum Care. So today I wanted to speak a lot about how do we bring, we do a lot of pilots, so we say we did this study, we did, that study. And at Healthcare Partners since 2011, I've been trying to do a lot of these remote patient monitoring, telehealth, like bringing technology into taking care of our chronically ill patients. Because as population health medical director, I'm also responsible for reducing admissions, readmission. So we worked with many, many technology companies. I can tell you almost 70 different technology companies trying to prove this and trying to prove that. And many times we get all excited because of all the whistles and all the stuff that technology engineers have created. We are so excited. We go into it and then we say, oh my God, this is, it's great, but when it really comes to patient care, we need more of these things, and so we weren't going anywhere. And then in 2015 or 16, we decided we're going to do it just like the drug trials, not phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. They're not invasive, but at least we need to put the same rigor. We want to bring IRB into it so compliance is taken care of, and then publish the data. So I want to start off by, I hope I can use this right. I want to say this story. This is something that really has brought a lot of wisdom to me with this. I don't know how many of you know about this bridge. And I may not pronounce it right. It's called the Choluteca Bridge in Honduras. So I wanted to give an analogy here, and that's why I showed this, because in 1930 or something, they built this bridge in Honduras, and it was covering the river. And then they said, because of hurricanes and all these things, in 1996, they put a lot of money into the bridge, and they said they want the strongest ever bridge. And they built a very, very strong bridge. So it withstood all the hurricanes, where buildings collapsed, everything happened, but the bridge was standing. But what happened is, because of the storm and the nature of how things change, the river, you can see, is passing on a different path. And the bridge is very strong, but we don't know now what to do. The reason I put that there is because since 2011, I was given this charge to say, okay, how can we reduce hospitalization? Your population health, show us impact. So I had to think of technology, but I didn't know how to fit it in. And as I see more and more technology companies spending a lot of money and really smart people, I feel they're smarter than us physicians. But how do we bring it together? How do we grow together is the question. So I thought I'll share that. One of the things that I wanted to really share is 90% of our health is determined by factors outside of clinical care. But we physicians still like to believe everything is dependent on us. But we are seeing more and more as we do, remote patient monitoring, telehealth. There's so many factors we can't really impact. And we are focusing on that 10%. So what happens with the 90%? And more we use technology, one thing is for sure, we are getting to know what really happens to these patients. So this is something that we wanted to make sure that if they list their iPhone as their primary, it may start happening, because that's where they're starting to talk to a lot of doctors. So as a population health medical director, there are top 5 population health questions answered, or we want it to be answered. Which patients are the greatest risk of further health decline? Very important. Which patients are most likely to be readmitted after the first 30 days of hospitalization? How many ER visits will patients make in the next 12 months? How much will it cost to care for patients in the network in the coming years? For which disease entities can we be providing better value? So it's often very difficult to answer these questions, no matter how much technology we use. What is population health? There's a lot of misunderstanding. If you ask any organization, from a medical group to a health plan, to a payer, to me, to physicians, to other ancillary providers, you'll get a lot of different answers. But we all know that we have to, it has to be defined as the health outcomes of a group of individuals, including the distribution of such outcomes within the group. Now, what is the purpose of using technology in healthcare? Many, very smart physicians and decision makers ask me this. I can tell you, after almost 10 years of using technology, failing, then being successful, a little bit successful, then again failing, then how to marry these two together, that scalability, you really need technology. To make it more efficient, to empower as it's giving more good suggestions. Automated care pathways. If you've got a good care pathway, if you can automate it, it's really good. Connecting all the players, predictive and prescriptive algorithms, and making it better so we can answer those questions, identifying gaps and opportunities, data and analytics. So data is very good. If you cannot do anything about it, I think it's useless collecting that. So I just want to talk here about a study that we're currently doing, and it's trending in the right direction. We're very proud of it. It's called Project Trident. It's an IRB-approved study for high-risk patients, patients who are really, really sick with multiple comorbidities. So I spoke about some of the things we've done in the past and we've published, but those were individual disease states like CHF, COPD, and this particular study is done in the Nevada market of Healthcare Partners, which is not part of Optum Care now. It's actually acquired by Intermountain. So it's a large medical group with 70,000 Medicare Advantage lives. And so basically it's got patients who are like John here, who's 75 years old, lives alone. He has diabetes, CHF, COPD, hypertension. He's not technologically savvy. And he lives in a home that is less than the stage that I'm on, and he has no caregiver. He pays $75 to another family to live there, and he has no food to eat. Meals on Wheels gives him one lunch, and that's about it. So the problem we have with many technology companies is they have many, many vendors that we have to connect with. So that was a big problem. And so we looked for a technology company that could give us everything. And so we came up with this technology company, the Harmonized Population Health Platform. They provided us everything. We just paid them a PMPM, but they had the devices, they had the analytical platform, they had platform partners, so including Meals on Wheels and people who go out and check on the patient and social workers. So it was very easy to use. It was one touch, 94% compliant, so we were very happy about that. So the IRB approved study is a remote patient monitoring for high-risk patients. The IRB approved it last year. So for us, we now have this. In God we trust, but everybody else needs to bring data. And study design is it's a randomized controlled study with matched cohorts. I just have 1 more minute, so I'll quickly go through this. Basically, I just want to show you, the primary objective was hospital admission. Secondary is overall healthcare resource utilization. Inclusion criteria, so hospital admissions within past 12 months, at least one comorbidity that can be remotely monitored, and at least 3 comorbidities listed. And so the key components are devices and dashboard, alert triage and escalation. So there were population health, alert triage teammates. There were Bluetooth-enabled devices. The technology was able to analyze the data, do predictive analytics, and give us a list of patients that may be ready to go to the hospital. So key components again. We had RNs, LVNs, PharmD doing medication reconciliation, dietitians, and some insulin algorithms. So examples of intervention, again, population health teammates, dedicated physicians, and ancillary staff to triage the escalated alerts. Then also EMT and paramedical clinical assessments and urgent care physicians. This was the result of, and there were 600 patients in each arm. We did a 200 patient analysis now. It'll take us a few more months to do the final analysis, but we saw 59% reduction in admissions and 68% reduction in ER visits. Again, you know, everything I talked about, it's very important that the remote patient monitoring or the, you know, platform of the technology company has to have certain components and the predictability and prescriptive analytics aspect to help make the decision in real time. So I'll stop over there. I'm so sorry, I had to hurry, and within 10 minutes, it's very hard to condense. But the message is, you know, these type of studies are very important. This is the first of its kind, and we'll see after 1,200 patients complete the study, which will be in July of next year, then we will get to see what that is showing.
Can we access the full study? And also, what company did you use for remote care?
It's called Harmonize Population Health Platform. Yeah.
And can we access the full study?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's available. Yes. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.